Today we're going to work on unlocking the prompt for the literacy task in Homeland Security. So the first thing you need to do is to read it completely. As you read the article, Cyber Criminals, Next Deadly Target, Grandpa's Pacemaker, consider how T. Johnson uses evidence such as facts or examples to support claims, reasoning to develop ideas to connect claims and evidence, stylistic or persuasive elements such as word choice to or appeals to emotion to add power to the ideas expressed. We're going to have to read this article right here from 2017. We're being asked, write an essay in which you explain how T. Johnson builds an argument to persuade the audience that potential cyber attacks would have a negative impact on the healthcare sector. In your essay, analyze how the author uses one or more of the features listed above to strengthen the logic and persuasiveness of the author's argument. Be sure that your analysis focuses on the most relevant aspects of the passage. Your essay should not explain whether you agree with the author's claims, but rather explain how the author builds an argument to persuade his audience. Okay, so we already know what the argument is, which is awesome because it's right here in the prompt. So we're going to take a second to highlight that. All right. We know that T. Johnson thinks that cyber attacks could have a negative impact on the healthcare sector. How do we know that? We need to find evidence. We need to find reasoning. And we need to find stylistic or persuasive elements to help us justify how we know T. Johnson is making that argument and what he's using to build that argument. It says the author uses one or more of the features above. So we don't know if it's going to have a lot of evidence and reasoning, if it's going to have reasoning and persuasive elements, if it's going to have persuasive elements and evidence, what combination or how much of each. So we're going to have to read closely and do some annotations for that. In the space below, rewrite the prompt in your own words. All right, so what's another way to say this? Let's do a speech bubble. Write an essay to explain how T. Johnson argues that cyber attacks could hurt the health care industry. Oh. And we need to use. Oh no, we need to identify and explain. That's what we need to do with the analysis. What evidence, reasons, and emotional angles are used by T. Johnson in his essay. All right. So that's pretty much what we've got to do. How would we write a thesis that would include all those things? We would say something like T. Johnson says in the article, Cyber Criminals. Oh. Next Deadly Target. Grandpa's Pacemaker. That cyber attacks could hurt the health care industry And we know all that, right? Because it's stated up here. This is the text it comes from. That's the argument that he's using. He says in the article this, and that's what the thesis is, and uses question mark evidence, question mark reasons, and question mark emotional appeals. Oh, I don't think we need to put that in parentheses. To convince the reader. All right, so that is going to be a direct answer to the question, which does not explain whether I think the author is right or wrong, and addresses all the types of evidence that they asked for up here. So if we have a thesis statement that kind of sounds like this, maybe we can develop that into an entire paragraph and address all those points more thoroughly. But if we have an answer that's like this, we should be able to answer the whole question without a problem. So the next step is to begin to analyze the text, and we'll do that in the next video.